Hi, my name is Linda. I'm the producer for Shards of War. I actually grew up with two brothers, and so gaming was always a really natural thing in our household. So I've been gaming since I was about 4. Started on the Atari and kind of worked my way up through the different consoles and PC games. I got started in the industry professionally about 10 years ago. So I started in 2005 with a lot of inspiration from my older brother who also worked in the industry. So he got in the industry a year before me in 2004. And when I kind of saw that and when I realized that I could, do this for a living, for me it was kind of a no-brainer, and I knew without a doubt it was something that I really wanted to dedicate my life to doing. So since 2005, I've been primarily focused on online gaming, and I've had the amazing experience to work on different MMOs, trading card games, downloadable content, and have been spending the last few years focusing on the MOBA space. Actually, my favorite series of all time is Final Fantasy. I know Khaled, our CEO, is going to disagree, but I actually think Final Fantasy VII is pretty much the greatest game ever. For me, a lot of things I like are more nostalgic and classic games, so like Shining Force for Sega, Suikoden was really good. I really like the side-scrolling action in Zelda 2 Legend of or the Adventures of Link for the Nintendo. More regularly or more recently, I think there have been some amazing games out there, so I've been playing some Hearthstone and some D3. So as you can probably tell from my accent, I'm originally from the US, but I really wanted to kind of live abroad and kind of travel throughout Europe, and also the US is a pretty mature market in terms of gaming, so I really wanted to take some of those experiences and bring it overseas. So I got in touch with the Big Point people, we connected, and it was a really, really great experience. Even though it's a company based in Germany, I think there's quite an international factor to it. It's been really amazing meeting all of the different people from different countries and experiences. I think Big Point still has a lot of growth in it and a lot of great things to happen, so I'm hoping I can kind of be a part of that and kind of influence it a little bit. And then of course, with the fact that I'd worked on a MOBA before, Shards of War was just a really natural fit. Definitely think Shards of War has a lot to offer in this space. The MOBA genre, as you guys know, is really, really competitive, but I think there's something that we've carved out that is unlike any other MOBA out there. So it definitely combines some of the traditional strategic MOBA elements that you see. So, there's lanes, there's minions, there's a jungle, but I think it adds on a couple of different levels. One, the setting is really different from what you see in games out there. Rather than being a fantasy-based game, we set our world in kind of this sci-fi, dystopian, futuristic setting, which I think is really fun and really different. The games are very fast-paced, so we're targeting kind of 15 to 20-minute matches. You can definitely get in on the action right away. I've seen the guys at the office play, so Team 1 fights are definitely possible. And I think the biggest differentiator is the fact that we kind of take top-down controls and merge it with these MOBA elements that you're familiar with. So with WASD, which is our control scheme, you can definitely have a lot of control over your Sentinel that you can't with a traditional point and click. You can run and gun. It adds a lot of strategic and tactical depth in terms of the way you play and the way you position your characters in the game. So the credit really comes down actually to the game design team and to Al Yang, who you will meet in a future podcast, and is also our lead game designer. So they had actually been discussing this idea for a long time, and when Al came up to me and approached me about it, to me it was absolutely a no-brainer. Like I said, it's kind of finding that balance between giving players what they expect in a MOBA, but bringing something new and fresh and a sort of innovation. So I think this actually does that really, really well. But really for me, this was something that the guys felt really passionate about, that they believed in. And I definitely think that one of the jobs as a producer is to really hire the right people and empower them to take ownership and make the right decisions. So for me, that was really very clear why we should go with WASD. Shards of War is going to be completely free to play. So it's really, really important for us in making this game and delivering it to players that we offer a fun and a free and fair experience for every player. Of course, you can monetize in the game, and we want to leave the decision really up to you. So if you are interested in spending money or showing appreciation back or goodwill, there's a couple different things you can do. One thing is we'll be offering a premium account, so you can purchase that to get some XP boost, to get some material exchanges, and then of course, even without that, we will offer you the ability to buy skins so that you can customize your Sentinel on the battlefield. But again, we want to make these options, and we really want to deliver it up to you, to the player, in terms of what you want to do. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's really important that we have a fair experience for everyone, so the core game mechanics and balance will definitely not change whether or not you spend money. So the ultimate objective of Shards of War is to essentially take down the enemy headquarters. We actually wanted to focus the game a lot on team play, so we actually have team levels in there, and by increasing your team level, you can unlock different items that you can equip during the match. So we wanted to give you the end goal is kind of the same, but we wanted to give you different ways to kind of increase your team level, which will help you achieve your ultimate goal. So you can, of course, kill enemy sentinels, you can take down towers, you can clear jungle objectives, and you can also capture domination points that allow you a bit more visibility in the map. And all of these things will kind of make it a little bit easier for you to eventually take down the headquarters. So Al Yang worked with David Slagle, who's our narrative designer, to come up with a really, really great story. So it's set in a futuristic world where Earth has basically shattered into a lot of multiverses that we call shards. So at launch, we're starting out with 3 shards, but we definitely plan on having more. So first, there's the Prime Shard, and it's kind of your stereotypical futuristic, high-tech kind of world. Then we have the Lockdown Shard, where 99% of the population has been relegated to city slums. And then lastly, at launch, we'll also have a Black Sun Shard. So that's our post-apocalyptic world in which the sun basically almost goes out, and that's the setting for that. So portals have basically opened up throughout the different shards. So you have your good guys who want to kind of restore balance and order, and of course you have your bad guys who want to conquer every shard in addition to their own. So I think that's a really interesting story for me personally, and I think it's really interesting and gives us a lot of creative freedom when we start to think about future Sentinels, the world that they come from, kind of what their backstory is. There was never really a single moment, to be honest. There wasn't one wow moment or one aha moment where you're like, okay, if I make this decision, this game is going to be really successful. The truth of the matter is, working in gaming is a gamble, right? You never know really if you're going to make something that's going to be successful, or how successful, or if it's going to totally flop. I think all you can really do is, make the best decisions that you can, make a game that you think is going to be really fun, and really it's about a series of a lot of little steps that you take, all hoping that each of these decisions will be the right one and kind of make kind of one big fun product that people are going to enjoy. I think the thing too with working in a live game is that there's never really an end date, right? But there's always going to be more features we want to add, there's always going to be more polish, there's always going to be things that we want to improve on. But I'm really happy with the product that we have so far, and I'm really happy to show it, and I'm really happy to also take kind of the community and the players on this journey to help us improve the game as we go. So I know I'm not supposed to say this, but I actually quite like everything about it. I think if you take any of these elements and you change even one thing, it kind of becomes a different game, right? So if we had gone with a fantasy setting, that would have totally changed it. If we didn't go with WASD, that would totally change it. But to me, I think what makes the game really special and what I like about it is this combination of all these different elements that we put together. So to me, this combination is really what makes it the perfect storm. I'm definitely more of a range girl than melee, so Shards of War is pretty good for me for that. And I think we have a lot of different variety in terms of Sentinels and how they look and feel. We have a couple of really strong female characters in there, which I'm really happy about. But I have to say that my favorite is probably the Cobra. I think he has some really cool combos. You can kind of blink in with your spacebar, jump into a fight if you want to, use your E to slash everyone. And I think that makes it really fun for me. But if I'm being really honest, I also really kind of suck at MOBAs. So when I play another MOBA with my cousin or my brother or my friends, I'm usually not allowed to play anything besides support. So I guess that's kind of also a main role for me, which is okay, and I love playing support too. So one, I definitely want to start off with the fact that I'm really, really proud of everyone who's worked on this game. Everyone's been working hard for a long time, and I think part of the motivation kind of comes from the fact that we all want the same goal, right? So it doesn't matter if you work in QA, it doesn't matter if you work in marketing, it doesn't matter if you work in programming. We might attack the game from different angles, but at the end of the day, I think it's a really big motivational factor for people to know that we all want the end same result, which is a fun product. And I think too, I think the people definitely make a really big difference. So being surrounded by people who are equally as motivated and as talented, I think that really makes a huge difference for motivation. So I can tell you that we actually have a ton of features for the next years to come. But even though we have these ideas, I think it's really important that first and foremost, we kind of open up the game and we open up the gates. And we really see what you guys as the players like and don't like, what your feedback is, what are the things you enjoy, what are the things that you guys want to see. So yeah, we have a ton of ideas and things that we think will be cool, but I think it's really important that we take you guys on this journey with us to involve you guys in terms of listening to what you guys want to see, and that's definitely going to shape the future of this game. One, I just really want to say thanks to everyone for watching this really long podcast. I know I talk a lot and I talk really fast, but I'm really glad that I got to share this with you guys, and the whole experience has been really, really amazing even up to the shooting. And I'm really just excited to kind of get the game out there. I hope I see you guys on the forums and on YouTube and on Facebook and on whatever social media outlets we have. I definitely read those as much as I can, and I will try to post as much as I can. And then lastly, I really can't wait for you guys to experience the game, and I'm really looking forward to playing the game with you guys, and sorry in advance if I suck and I'm on your team, but I will do the best I can. So I can't wait to see you guys on the forums, in the battlefield, and just to see what the feedback is.